It was just another regular day at the headquarters of Sterling and Company, a high-profile corporate firm where the air smelled like overpriced coffee and ambition. People bustled through the sleek marble hallways, their heels clicking against the polished floors as they hurried to meetings, clutched their lattes, and pretended their PowerPoint presentations held the fate of the world. It was a typical Tuesday, or at least it seemed that way, but as it turned out, this was no ordinary day. In the middle of this corporate frenzy was Elena Martinez, the cleaning lady. She had worked at Sterling and Company for years, a familiar face to the security guards, the night crew, and the early risers. But to most of the high-flying executives, she was invisible. Headphones in, vacuum in hand, she went about her job while the corporate world spun around her, oblivious to her presence. Except Elena wasn't just a cleaning lady. She had a story that would shake the very foundations of that building if anyone had cared to ask. But to them, she was just another worker in the background, someone whose presence barely registered in their meticulously planned days. Sterling and Co. had a particular culture, one filled with tailored suits, forced smiles, and just a little too much gossip behind closed doors. And in an environment like that, there were always a few who thought they were invincible. One such person was Richard Calloway, the CEO. He was the kind of leader who enjoyed making his authority known, calling out employees for the smallest infractions while ignoring his own. If someone was 5 minutes late, he made sure everyone knew it, yet he waltzed into meetings 20 minutes behind schedule without a hint of apology. One day, Calloway was storming through the hallways when he noticed Elena pushing her cleaning cart, just finishing up in the conference room. Maybe he was having a bad morning, or maybe he just needed to feel powerful, but for whatever reason, he decided she was an easy target. "Hey," he snapped, loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. "You missed a spot in there." Elena paused, turned her head slightly, and gave a polite smile. "I'll take care of it," she said, her voice calm and steady. But Calloway wasn't satisfied. No, he needed a performance. "I don't think you understand," he continued, his voice dripping with condescension. "This is a professional office. If you can't keep up, maybe you're in the wrong line of work." The hallway fell silent. A few employees stole quick glances but looked away just as fast, unwilling to get involved. Elena simply nodded and continued pushing her cart, showing no reaction, no defiance, just quiet dignity. The thing about dignity, though, is that it isn't defined by a uniform, and Elena had more of it than the entire executive team combined. Later that week, a major board meeting was called, one of those high-stakes, clear-your-schedule kind of meetings. Calloway, ever the showman, walked into the conference room expecting to command attention as always. But the moment he stepped inside, something felt off. At the head of the table sat Elena, but she wasn't wearing her uniform, no cleaning cart, no vacuum. Instead, she was dressed in a sharp tailored suit, exuding an effortless authority that immediately shifted the atmosphere in the room. Calloway froze. Confused, he looked around. "What's going on here?" he asked, his voice just a little less steady than usual. Elena met his gaze, her expression unreadable. Then she gestured to the seat across from her. "Take a seat." He hesitated, but eventually did as he was told. The tension in the room was thick as the board members watched in silence, and that's when the bombshell dropped. Elena Martinez wasn't just a cleaning lady, she was the majority shareholder of Sterling and Company. That's right. Over the years, she had climbed the ranks within the company, learned its inner workings, and quietly acquired enough shares to hold the ultimate power. Rather than flaunting her influence, she had chosen to observe, from the ground up, how the company truly operated and how its people were treated. And now it was time to act. Calloway's bravado crumbled as he realized the weight of the situation. He opened his mouth to speak, but Elena didn't give him the chance. "You've fostered a toxic environment here," she said, her voice steady and unwavering. "You treat people like they're beneath you, and that is not the kind of leadership this company needs." He stammered, trying to explain himself, but she wasn't interested in excuses. "Effective immediately," she continued, "you are relieved of your position. We need someone who leads with respect, not arrogance. And just like that, the man who thought he was untouchable was shown the door. As Calloway shuffled out of the conference room, the once invisible cleaning lady, no, the boss, turned to the rest of the board. "Now," she said, clasping her hands together, "let's get back to work." The news spread like wildfire throughout the office. The cleaning lady who fired the CEO, it became legend. And the lesson? It was one no one would forget. Never underestimate someone because of their job, their uniform, or your own assumptions. Because the person you overlook today might just hold the keys to your future